Morning gamers, and if you're like a lot of us, you probably just woke up and found out that Microsoft is buying Activision for $70 billion. I also want to thank them for bringing back the Lord of the Rings Mordor Nemesis system to the console war, but more on that later. What does this mean for gamers? What does it mean for you? What does it mean for your popular games? We'll discuss. Sit on back. Subscribe if you want more news like this. Don't subscribe if you want less. What does it all mean? So, as discussed a couple months ago in the podcast, I talked about there were some signs that Microsoft was looking to make some kind of massive purchase. And while most people didn't think that it was going to aim this big, the news that popped today was that Microsoft had planned to purchase, in a cash-only purchase, all of Activision Blizzard. The first thing to look at is the cost. This is substantially larger than the original purchase of Bethesda. This is $70 billion, many magnitudes larger, not only than the Bethesda purchase, but than the LinkedIn purchase that they did recently. Why is this? And what does Microsoft see when it comes to the future of gaming, where they're going to make such big purchases? As I brought up in the past, current gaming, the global market for gaming, isn't just for today, which is around $180 billion a year, but companies are looking forward. For example, 2027, it's estimated to be $320 billion in games. Microsoft is aiming for that, but they're also aiming to sort of edge out some of the competition that's trying to get into various different parts. First, let's look at how this company will perform. As I said in the Mordor moment, you'll see that this is now the new structure of Microsoft, with Phil Spencer being the head of Microsoft Gaming, all of it, just combining everything at Microsoft, which is also an indicator that they're moving away from just that Xbox division kind of thing and towards all of gaming on Microsoft. This is highly important because, as we know, in 2023, when this deal gets finalized, everybody will report to Phil Spencer, not to Bobby. Now, a lot of people are wondering, what's going to happen with Bobby and the leadership there? While Microsoft has stated that he will stay in his position as the transition occurs, I think we can all expect that for the most part, Phil is now going to be the person that everybody responds to, and at some point in the future, you will see Bobby make a ungraceful exit from these companies. When it comes to the movement of the companies themselves, a lot of people are thinking, oh, this is going to be that a bunch of people are being fired or a bunch of things are moving. There is not going to be any physical movement, though there will, of course, be some devs switching around. Microsoft isn't stating Activision needs to move to Redmond. That makes no damn sense. What they're doing is basically taking them and collectively putting them under this large umbrella. And that umbrella is what we get to right now. A lot of people asked, why was this purchase done now? Well, Activision is on the downswing. Buyers usually are looking to buy on the downswing. Lately, a lot of gamers have been confused by the fact that so many companies have been buying when other companies are on the upswing, doing well and on the way up. Microsoft apparently was looking at various different companies, and even though Activision Blizzard has seen a drop in its share prices recently, that doesn't mean that Microsoft doesn't see the future 400 million active players a month for Activision as being something that they want, especially when they have currently 25 million active subscribers on Xbox. And that's what we're going to talk about right now, which is streaming and exclusivity. Now, of course, this discussion is about the main players, not Nintendo. Nintendo's still signing into their GeoCities account and asking Tom from Facebook how to see today's news on their bulletin board. I'm pretty sure they don't even know it's Tuesday, let alone what's actually happened here. We're talking about exclusivity first. Now, when Bethesda was bought, people desperately and wrongly clamored to say that all games would still be coming to all the different platforms. Most of us who know business know that that absolutely wasn't going to be that way. The same, in most parts, goes here. However, there is a discussion that PlayStation is a strong Activision platform. You could make that argument that also Bethesda was. It's true, though, and Microsoft wants that strength. But guess what? They want it on their platform. As I discussed in the Math podcast video and in a couple tweets, a couple games selling very well easily eat up good sales on a console, especially when it first gets released. Think about it this way. A couple blockbusters selling at $60, making maybe $10 profit per sale, especially on the digital side, are going to easily and vastly eat up whatever a good console sale may be. Many consoles don't release making a ton of money at all, as little as zero or a loss, or as much as 20 or 30, depending on the history of games. Additionally, we are looking at a time when the PlayStation 5 and Xbox are actually having difficulty getting out into stores. So a lot of companies are looking at what they can do now versus some hypothetical in the future. Total sales for consoles and their restriction currently show that Microsoft may want to filter people over to their subscription service versus hoping for something in the future, which even at a coupon deal such as the $5 per month that you can get some places still nets them $70 a year, and that's if no purchases happen, which, as Microsoft has stated multiple times, is not actually what occurs. In fact, more games are purchased versus less when it comes to being on exclusivity and being streamed there. When we look at Activision and the backwards content that they have, their older Divisions games, all of these different titles, Microsoft is a better fit than any other company. Microsoft does envision a backwards compatibility kind of system for everything that they do, which is a place where you can see a lot of that back catalog of content coming into the Game Pass subscription service. You guys got to realize Microsoft's offering $95 per share, cash-only deal. This is going to close in 2023. And I've said before, the global gaming market is massive. Exclusivity and streaming, though, aren't just against Sony and Nintendo. One person has to realize that while we do see that in the end Google has left this business, you got Amazon with Luna and Netflix who has wanted to create their own games for a while now. One of the ways in which Microsoft is trying to do this is to not only get those companies that are releasing in other places, but also making it so that in the future, if somebody else announces a streaming service such as PlayStation's rumored Spartacus, there's going to be less actual offerings on it, which causes more people to want to go to the Xbox game service. Now, all this is business, and it's not exactly about the morality of fans and our desire to see a game on every single platform. We're not talking about that. I'm just talking to you guys right about the business right now. As a business move, this is something that I had talked about for the last couple months, that I'd been hearing that there were some major changes going on in gaming when it came to Microsoft, and we see it now. Microsoft has made huge changes internally, all of these companies answering to Phil, him going to Microsoft Gaming, and now we see Activision coming in. And my guess, again, is that after this acquisition is solidified, we see a movement of everybody who's in the leadership of Activision settle out into Microsoft, except for Bobby, who will leave completely. We'll have to see if that goes. One of the things that a lot of people say is, well, he's made Activision a lot of money. That is absolutely true. But if you look at the way these various branches are built, there isn't really a place for him moving forward after this acquisition is done. So I hope this clarified a bit about the purchases for you, about what Activision is trying to do, what they want to do, what Microsoft wants to do, and the backwards compatibility that I think is actually a bigger deal than just Call of Duty. A lot of people see Call of Duty as a big deal, and it's doing incredible numbers. But Microsoft may see that and think, hey, you know what? We want some of that strength here, whether it be exclusives, whether it be just part and parcel, or whether it be moving into the future with unique IPs. No one will know until at least 2023, and then we're going to get some more solid data. I hope you guys like these videos. If you do, give it a thumbs up. If you don't, give it a thumbs down. Sorry that there's not really a lot of video that I can show for this. The news popped this morning. There isn't really a lot of video showing Phil and Bobby high-fiving or anything like that. Subscribe if you like the video. Don't subscribe if you don't. Check out the Patreon. That's where we're discussing these. Every single morning we do a video game news discussion. Anywhere upwards of 200 people are involved in these, where everybody sits down and we all talk about the news that's being announced, and we get in there every single day. It's awesome. That's just one of the perks for the Discord and for the Patreon. Peace out.